Hey everybody, welcome back to some Entropia content. Sorry yesterday I didn't have time to uninstall XSplit, so I'm fucking still getting lag like a piece of shit. No, but I think everything else is going pretty well. Now today I got a little bit more sleep. Last night was a bit of a rough night, getting over the cannabis addiction, but I made it. One day down the drain. And let's begin with maybe a run all the way to the oil rig. I figure it's better to check the oil rig early in the morning because there's a chance there'll be less other people already collecting it. And it's very dark outside. I can't see where the fuck I'm going. Now I hope everyone's doing well. I don't know, it seems like the media these days is very conflicting. It's like you turn on the TV, you think it's a goddamn apocalypse and everyone's dying and you can see piles of bodies from space. And you go outside and no one's ever fucking wearing masks or no one knows anyone who's had the virus. Thousands of people walking around in crowds on social distancing the whole time during the lockdown. I don't know what the fuck is going on really. It's like, which is true? Is it the media's true and we're fucking into the apocalypse and we're all gonna die? Or is it true, like what the other people are saying, that they've pretty much gone on with their lives as normal and just ignoring what the fucking government is doing? Because what they're doing is fucking crazy? Or probably somewhere halfway in between. It's more likely. It's always a little bit of both sides of the coin, right? Now I just thank God, like a lot of my friends and family all worked on the front lines fighting the whole situation I can't talk about. Not allowed. YouTube will destroy me. Oh God, why did I close the map? You idiot! Now, to be honest, today I am jonesing a little bit, but it's already at the point where it's like 90% less than it was yesterday. No, it's just like the same thing when you get into weight loss and exercise and all that shit. Really, the hardest part is getting the routine down. Once you have the routine set in place, fuck, you're set. So, it's not like it's torture the whole time. No pain, no gain. Now, I had some bunch of other news I think about Entropia. I'm trying to remember it. Fuck. Now, I noticed my memory is gradually improving a little bit. My short-term memory, well, I'll jinx it really good, but now I feel like I have at least 2 or 3 seconds of short-term memory longer than I did just vaping cannabis every day. And it's probably easier for me to tell because after my concussion I was almost down to 0 short-term memory. So if someone's like still has quite a bit of short-term memory left, they might not notice losing 10 or 15% of it or something. But man, when you're at 0 and you go up to like 1 or 2%, you notice the difference. Yeah, here it is. Remember I was going on about there was a better place to land? Pretty sure this is the one. Yeah, so what happens when you die at the oil rig, or you just hit T, it'll send you to that other teleporter that has no TP, or I'll send you to that other spawn point that has no teleporter. So once you spawn there, you'll have to get in your ship and fly here. Fuck man, there's tons of enemies around here, so I'm gonna try to land and not get my ship fucking destroyed. Now last night when I was hoping to do some of my dream experiments after cutting out cannabis, it was kind of fucked up. Yeah, I gotta say, like, I could feel the dreams on the verge of breaking through, but a lot of the suppression chemical I could still tell was there. Because I was getting dreams, but they weren't vivid, and they were very sporadic. Like, I would go in and out of the dream, in and out, in and out. Whereas before, oh, sorry guys, getting my mind back in the gutter, are we? Yeah, so anyways, God, I gotta stop distracting myself. Nah, short-term memory is definitely not better yet. Already forgot what I was talking about. But hopefully by the time I get to the castle, I will remember. Now I think I was talking about short-term memory loss. Now, I was really sad too. Actually, the short-term dream work, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, like yesterday, I don't know if anyone was listening to the show, I happened to mention the whole jackass skydiving incidents. And I was talking about, holy shit, man, how dangerous it would be that if he didn't fucking get the parachute on him in time. So sadly, when I was watching the news after the show, heard some bad news that there was actually a skydiving accident yesterday. Really sad. There was this girl who graduated high school and she wanted to go skydiving as her graduation gift. And she was doing the tandem jump, so it's supposed to be extra safe. I forget what they were saying. Like CNN was saying that skydiving is very safe and that they only have like one accident like every 10 years or something. I was thinking, dear God, that's total bullshit. Like I live near a skydiving club and they have a fatal accident every year. So I don't know what their CNN was talking. Maybe it's a United States thing. I was like, God, how does the population thing work? Why would Canada be having so many skydiving accidents and the States has none? Like, what's different? Maybe too much maple syrup is making the parachutes not open? No, I shouldn't joke. That was fucking awful. I feel awful about the girl that passed away. Actually, both girls. The tandem instructor was not that old of a lady either. Now I think what they said what happened is when they jumped out of the plane, something happened where they didn't fucking jump out properly. So they started spinning, and they said that's really bad when you're skydiving. You don't want to get into a fucking spin because you have to open your parachutes, right? So I think what happened was the parachutes in the spinning mode didn't open properly. Yeah, so their whole family watched them plummet to the ground. It's fucking horrible. No, but I was almost wondering if that's like maybe a little precursor that when I start getting my dream work going, it's going to be interesting to see what I can find out before it happens. Now, I often wondered, like, my grandma ended up making a living doing that sort of thing, so maybe that's part of my future one day. Now, that's the weird thing about dream work. It is a bit of a curse, and it is kind of neat in a way. Now, I won't mention any names, but I'll tell a little story about one time my dreams kind of freaked people out. Well, a couple times, but yeah, this case, what happened is the night before the incident occurred, I was dreaming that I was partying with my friends, and that I was walking through the living room, and I smashed my shin on the fucking coffee table. I was like, ah, yeah, ah. So then, what happened in the dream was, everyone in the room was like, oh my God, are you okay? Except for one guy in the room. And then that guy in the room in my dream started going, ah, ah. And I was like, holy fuck, man, what a jackass, right? So then it just so happened the next day, same situation. I was having a whole bunch of my friends over, we were partying, and I had some of my cannabis oil that I was like smoking with everyone. And I had a full jar of it. I just bought it. And it was really expensive too. So I was like, I was really broke at the time. So this jar of cannabis oil was like pretty much like one of my most prized possessions at the time. So what happened is I went to the washroom during like while we were partying. And then I came back and I couldn't find my jar of oil. I was like, shit, man, did I fucking lose it? Like, did I drop it behind the coffee table or something? So after my friends left, I fucking started searching my whole room, like just tearing it apart piece by piece. Because that was my most prized possession. I was going to rip the whole room apart to make sure it wasn't in there. And then after I found out that the fucking oil wasn't in the room, I'm like, dear God, man, someone took it. And it was like so strange because like I've been hanging around with this group of friends before and nothing had ever gone missing before for years. So I was like really surprised that how the hell would this have happened? And which one of my friends would do it? And then I was like, wait a minute, the fucking dream, right? So then I was thinking, surely this guy that my dream was taunting, when he was taunting me in the dream, wasn't the guy that fucking stole the oil. Because like, he's one of my best friends. So then I'm like, just to play it safe, I'm gonna fucking spur the moment, just go over to his house, go right in, and just see if it's on the table, right? So that's what happened. I fucking went over to my buddy's place, and some other of my friends were already there, so they were partying too, and they just let me in without telling him that I arrived. So when I got there and I looked on the coffee table, lo and behold, there was my jar of oil. So as soon as he came in the room, he's like, oh my god. He's like, I'm so sorry. He's like, I picked it up by accident and I fucking brought it, and I was just about to call you to tell you that I found it. And I'm like, okay. No, but eventually he did continue to apologize, and he gave me some of his stuff and said he was sorry for doing it. And I accepted the apology. And actually he's still one of my best friends today. So that's kind of fucked up, but what a weird story. It's like, has anyone else had a dream like that? Oh, here's this guy. How's he doing? He's here every morning. Right, so the player is asking, yo, and I'm like, hey man, how's it going? Now I got this creature that's killing me, and I'm not getting any oil, so I'm probably just going to let this creature kill me and get going. Let's go check out some crafting. I was looking on the Entropia news this morning, and there was a few people posting that they were getting really good loot today. So that sounds good. No, I think that's true what the guy was saying about no one killing this creature and oil not coming. Because there's no oil here, and I've actually seen this happen before at this rig. So if anyone's planning on making the trip to Toulan, just be advised that you may actually have to wait until some people kill some mobs, or if you actually have enough ammo that you can kill some too. Like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure that the ratio of oil they're giving you here is enough to cover the ammo to kill some things. I don't know if it's enough to kill these creatures, but... Oh, and the other big video game news is I couldn't believe it. I was like, someone was posting some more Amico stuff, and like I noticed a lot of the people pick on Tommy and the Intellivision Amico. That kind of pisses me off because, like, really, I'm critical of him, but I don't want to be mean to him. He's still one of the greatest guys I like, so... I know it's hard to believe because a lot of the criticism I come up actually does sound mean, but I try to present it in the nicest way possible. So anyways, what happened with that situation is this guy was making videos, making fun of the Intellivision, and I was just going through them to see if he actually had any valid points to any of it. And then he brought up the history of the Earthworm Jim game. Holy fuck. It's like Intellivision Amico has been going on and on about how Earthworm Jim is one of their big prize franchises. And I think why it is because Tommy, like, I don't know if anyone knows Tommy Tellerico, he was really good at the Electric Playground show, like as a host and all that stuff. But to be honest, I can't stand his music. I think he's like a talented musician, but never once have I listened to it and thought that it was entertaining to listen to. I don't know what it is. It's like, maybe it's the passion or something, or like, I guess he's very passionate about music. He loves it, but maybe it's because my expectations are so high from what he does on video game stuff and Electric Playground and reviews on the run and all that stuff. So when he started going into music and bragging about how good he is at music, I never once liked it. It's like when the Earthworm Jim game came out, he's like, oh, it's such a great game because I did the music for it. I'm like, A, I fucking can't stand the music in Earthworm Jim. B, fucking Earthworm Jim is one of the shittiest games I ever played. It's like, I'm pretty sure I got it, I rented it, I forget, like $10 for a week. And for Sega Genesis, that's how fucking long ago it was. I'm like, alright, the next big Mario game, this Earthworm Jim's gonna be great. Then I played it, and like 1 or 2 levels in, I'm like, get this shit away from me. It's like I fucking couldn't stand the game. It's horrible. And I was like, how the hell is anyone liking this game? Can't remember what it was. It was like just a side-scrolling platformer, but none of it was really fluid. Like, you couldn't run and jump like Mario. He was very slow and awkward. So I was like, bad controls, not fun to play, shitty music. It was just an all-around crappy game. So I was kind of surprised that Tommy's like, well, I'm not surprised. He did the music for it, so I guess that's why he's hailing it as the greatest game ever that's coming out for Amico. But then this other reviewer online, he started releasing some information like the dirt or the rumors about what was bad about the production crew at Earthworm Jim. And it's weird, like this guy's like a wild liberal, I think, because he's like saying that anyone who's a conservative is like a fucking Nazi or white supremacist. And I don't really agree with that. I'm like, just because like fucking you're on a political party that someone doesn't like, I don't think it's right to like fucking start demonizing them and trying to make it like they're the devil or something. And it's the very same way I noticed that too, like in Canada we got a lot of fucking Ukrainian monuments. And I was wondering this too, because my grandpa's, one of my grandfathers on half the side of my family is from Ukraine. And he was the one that helped my grandma escape prison, so that she was in prison for doing the DreamWorks stuff. Fucking sure hope I don't end up in prison for that. But anyways, yeah, so he helped her escape and came to Canada. And how he escaped was he was in prison too. So I was always wondering, like he never gave us the details of why he was in prison. Like I knew why my grandma was, but we never found out why he was. So what I found out later when I was reading the history on Facebook yesterday is a lot of the Ukrainians were actually on the Nazi side. So I was like, holy shit, that's probably why my grandpa was never telling us why he was in jail. That was a weird thing too, is like I knew that my grandpa was very strict, mean in cases, but he was a really good guy. Like if anyone needed help, he was there. If anyone was like, even someone he hated, it's like he could go on and on about how he hated interracial relationships. Meanwhile, if there was like some guy that needed help, he didn't care about what he hated. He wouldn't help them, right? So I don't know, like, that's what I was wondering. Like in a lot of cases, we have made out Nazis to be a political party where everyone was evil. And I was like, I'm sorry, but I don't really think that was true either. Because now the leftist revisionists are going in and tearing down all my family history from all the cities in Canada. They're like, oh, Ukrainians, you used to be working with the Nazis. Your history goes in the fucking trash can. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like at first I was kind of agreeing with this because I'm like, oh yeah, Nazi history is fucking horrible. Like a lot of it was, so we should erase it all. But then I was like, wait a minute, like every culture has this. Not a single culture on the planet doesn't have a history, fucking mass genocide, taking land and everything, right? So I was like, why the hell should I fucking burn my culture and throw in the garbage when everyone else is guilty of the same thing? There's not a single person who doesn't have a culture that was like that. Even the goddamn Native Americans, for shit's sakes. Before the Europeans arrived here, they were fucking warring all the time, killing and raping each other. It's like, how do you think the Europeans managed to do so well conquering it? It's because there was already so much warfare here. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, that was the other thing. I was thinking, Jesus, like, I started looking up the history of Nazis actually. Like, I'm thinking, like, if my grandpa was a Nazi and he wasn't fucking evil, how many other Nazis weren't evil either, right? So then you crack open the history books, and there was an event called the Berlin Olympics. It was basically back when Hitler was in power in the whole Nazi area. He got the fucking Olympic bid. So Nazi Germany hosted the fucking Olympics. Can you imagine? And if you're wondering how the hell you've never heard of this story, well, there's a fucking reason for that. Yeah, I can't believe the reason, too. I was like, shit, I should have looked this up years ago. That's what I was wondering. This whole history of revisionism, it's not that bad in a way, because it's forcing people to look it up to see if it's true. Whereas before, we just sort of accepted everything at face value. Alright, I'm going to fly to the teleporter. No, I was thinking it was so weird how my family history works out, too. It's like my one grandfather was working with the US and the Coast Guard in charge of like some of their secrets and helping translate the German languages and fight the Nazis. And my other side of the family was a Nazi. Well, I don't know for sure that he was, but that's kind of my suspicion after finding out all this stuff about Ukrainian history now. I was always wondering too why we weren't learning Ukrainian history. It's like we're just like, oh, we'll never talk about our past. It's like, okay. Anyway. Yeah, so the more we keep looking into it, there was that story about the Nazi Olympics that happened a long time ago. And I think what it was is the leftists at the time that were fighting the Nazis, which I guess were the conservatives at the time. The fucking, oh god, I can't even control my shit. What is going on? Yeah, so anyways, when the leftists found out that Hitler was hosting the game, they started protesting. They're like, boycott, boycott, no one go to the Olympics. And then there was a few people that were like, hey, Hitler's making this Aryan superiority claim. Maybe we should go to the Olympics and just fucking kick his ass in the games, right? So that's what I kind of miss that fucking our society doesn't do. Like, if you really do have someone who's claiming to be a white supremacist, why not use that as motivation to show them up and be like, hey, look how superior I am to you, right? Fucking compete with the fucking white supremacist, some sort of competition, prove to him that he isn't the god that he's claiming to be. Let's get the hell out of here. Yeah, so what happened was, the other athletes went, and it was kind of playing almost backfired because the fucking Germans were like superior athletes at that point in history where they just dominated the Olympics, like slaughtered everyone, except for one case when it came to Jesse Owens. And Jesse Owens was a black guy from the States and he came over to compete. And it was funny because people were like already cheering for Hitler to lose at this point. So when Jesse Owens came onto the field, all the women, like even all the German women are like just like, Jesse, Jesse. Everyone wanted him to win. And then what happened was he couldn't beat one of the German competitors because he was like really technically good, right? But this German competitor, I think his name was Lou. I'll just say Lou for the time being because I can't really remember. So that's what happened was Lou was competing against Jesse Owens, seeing that he was beating him. But it turned out this Lou guy, despite being a Nazi, was like, hey, he wanted to be a sportsman, like a good guy, and he helped train Jesse Owens and gave him advice on how to beat him, and then Jesse Owens did beat him. So, man, that almost brings a tear to my eye, right? I was like, holy shit, like, that would make an excellent movie, right? So I was thinking that's probably why we've never heard of the Nazi Olympics. When it came time for the Nazi Olympics and how it all went through, is the Aryan superiority claim was proven false by Jesse Owens by winning that fucking thing or whatever, and he was like the hero of the games. But it turned out that that Lou guy that taught him how to fucking beat him in the event and helped him win the gold medal, he won the most sportsmanship award. So that's probably we're not hearing too much about the whole fucking Nazi Olympics, because it completely disproves the idea that all Nazis are evil. Same way like someone will say, oh, conservatives aren't evil, and it's easy to disprove it, right? So yeah, I was like, holy fuck, man, the Nazi Olympics was crazy. And then guess what happened to the guy that won the Nazi that won the sportsmanship award? Holy fuck. It's like, this is where it gets really interesting. You know how the fucking leftists in America are all about, oh, they're saints, they never do anything wrong, their side is the good guys, and the conservatives are pure evil? Well, they kept saying that the whole time about the Nazis. Meanwhile, guess what the fucking US troops did and the Allies? It says it right in the fucking history books. Couldn't fucking believe it. No, it turned out that a lot of the fucking German POWs were like caught in a camp, or not in a camp, yeah, I guess it might have been some sort of prison camp, and they're unarmed, like already caught POWs, and one of them happened to be the Olympic gold medalist, that Lou guy, who was the sportsmanship of the year. So what does the fucking leftist saints do to the POWs? They fucking went into the room and massacred all 70 of them. Huge slaughter, just like killing the Jews. So I was like, holy fuck, here you guys are going on and on about killing the Jews. Meanwhile, you're fucking doing the same goddamn thing. I couldn't fucking believe it. Yeah, so then it even says in the history book that that massacre was one of the worst war crimes that occurred during the war. I was like, holy fuck. Here they're labeling the Nazis the evil guys. Meanwhile, they're fucking slaughtering people, POWs. like just massacring them. And they even got busted for it in war crimes court. So I was like, holy shit, that's why they're not telling us this whole story of the Nazi Olympics. Not only were the Nazis not the bad guys in it, but they were fucking slaughtered like fucking Jews. I was like, holy. So yeah, I encourage everyone, like every time you hear someone tell you some shit and they're like, oh, this is true, fucking look it up for God's sakes. Like, I don't know, I'm really happy that all this history revision is happening. Because here I thought my grandpa would be a fucking evil guy because he was part of that force. I'm like, wait a minute. He was part of a force that was labeled evil, but the force that was fighting him was doing just as many evil things. So I was like, holy fuck. Now, if anyone's into like Hollywood movie making and shit, someone needs to make a movie about the Hitler Olympics. Like, dear God, I can't believe it. Like, just the story of alone, like, I think that would hook the audience, right? Everyone would be like, holy fuck, the Nazis weren't all evil? No, obviously a lot of the Nazis were evil. Like, fucking Hitler was, like, hooked on some horrible, what was it, drugs? And he was borderline demonically possessed. Like, shit, I know a lot of people, including myself, never believed in demonic possession pretty much my whole life. Until I started seeing evidence of it firsthand, and I was like, holy fuck. So I'm pretty sure, like, a lot of the traits that Hitler was exhibiting was definitely demonic possession. Especially when he had the voices that were telling him how to avoid danger. Like, that's fucking hardcore. Like, probably the worst demonic possession we've seen in our lifetimes. Maybe compared to other fucking brutal dictators like Genghis Khan and shit, or... That's what I was thinking, like, our whole universe is based on creation destruction. Angels can create stuff, demons can't. But the catch is demons can take over humans and then destroy the creations. So that's how it balances out. So I was like, shit, every point in time, there's going to be a time where demons are going to possess someone to continue the cycle of building and destroying. So once you get enough building up, eventually you're going to get one of those demons that's going to balance it out. And people could say, oh, we could just kill that demon. Well, I'm pretty sure, like, even biblical times, one of the greatest stories, and my favorite, is the village that hated Jesus. And I don't know if anyone's ever heard this story. I wish my priest talked about it more in school. But yeah, when I read the story about the village that hated Jesus, same thing. Jesus, everyone knows about his miracles and all blah, 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 rise from the dead, but he was actually really into exorcising demons. Like, that's where the whole thing comes in, like, the exorcism in the Catholic Church and shit. So anyways, yeah, let me adjust this meter a little. Let's try getting between the T's and titty for a little luck. Yeah, not much probably is what is going on with our planet right now. The global unrest is because a lot of people on the earth are all trying to go one way, saying that their side is the perfect, ultimate good side, the other side is pure evil. Pretty sure once we balance out again, the earth won't be so bad. And the way it's going to balance out is people are going to look and examine the claims saying that's causing it to go like this, and eventually it'll balance out because truth will prevail. Oh, God, I miss the vaporizer. I don't know if anyone's noticed the change in my voice at all. Maybe it's not that dramatic of a change, but for me it does seem dramatic. Just because when I'm trying to articulate my vocabulary, it is much easier. Holy fuck, my room is turning into a goddamn sauna quick. It was funny, like just 5 minutes ago it was fucking freezing. Sorry guys. Ugh. Man, if I don't lose my pants, I'm gonna fucking boil. I swear I'll try not to get up this time. No, the other day I was doing a stream and I forgot that I wasn't wearing pants and stood up. I was like, ah. Thankfully I was still wearing underwear. No, I'm not that gross. Now, I often wear I always wear boxer briefs, so really they're almost like shorts anyway. Like hell, boxer briefs would be fucking pants if women were wearing them. I think leggings and that is pretty much the same thing. Ooh, there it was. That was the first time today I just got a craving to use the vaporizer. I wish I didn't fucking run out of chocolate milk. Now is when I need it the most. Can anyone help me out with some milk? Sorry, that was gross. Alright, so in between the teas isn't really working the greatest. Let's try going with the right tea. And after I give it a little attention, maybe I'll work my way to the other tea. Don't want to make it lonely. Yeah, I don't know, how's it going with everyone else in the world? You got leftist revisionists going around tearing down all your family history? Now, I find it ironic too, because I live in a city that used to be called New Berlin, like Germany, New Berlin. And why? Because our entire city was all German migrants, or immigrants that had lived here for generations, and we still called them migrants. But anyways, yeah, so my city that was called New Berlin just so happened to have an uprising of leftist revisionists. So they fucking hated German people and their culture so much that they changed their fucking city name. And then they just started mass migrating anyone. The one quality that they had to have is they couldn't be German. So in a way, it's like our whole city got replaced and changed and our history erased. But there is kind of like a few pockets of German people that still live in the city. And it's funny when you talk to them too, they're like, a lot of them are really mad about it. They're like, holy shit, like we lost our whole city, our whole culture. Everything's gone. We can't even understand anyone in our city anymore. So, I don't know. I think it's a little bit stressful, but at the same time, I kind of like the multiculturalism. It's neat because it's like I can travel anywhere in the world in my own city. If I want to go to China, I can just go to fucking the Asian food market, see thousands of employees that don't speak a word of English. Or I could go to, what's another region in my city? We got the Asian, where China is taking over 90%. What else is there? Yeah, there's a bit of Koreans. I know my grandma's church, it almost closed down because like a lot of the people weren't going anymore. And then the Koreans moved in, and fucking Koreans are really adamant Catholics or Protestants or whatever. So yeah, that's who's the fucking... My grandma's church went from being all Germans, now they're all South Koreans. Which I don't have anything against, but the only issue I have a little bit about making all of our culture, like giving it all to Asian people, is like, not to be offensive, but Asian people are by far like the most segregated people I've ever met. Like I know I've gone to schools with multiculturalism, like almost everyone in the class or school is from different countries, and almost, yeah, so anyways, like that's when it came to it. It's like when you looked at the school and how it's self-segregated, like Asian people usually never mingle with anyone who's not Asian. Like it's extremely rare to find a girl that'll date someone who's not Asian. So I was like, that kind of sucks in a way, because when you're a single guy, you kind of want to live in a city that has potential mates. And then when you realize that you're living in a city that's filled with hot chicks, but none of them will date you because you're not their race, it's like, holy fuck, man, that gets a little bit awkward. Not to say that interracial relationships in the Asian community are like non-existent, but it's extremely low percentages. I think that's why like Japanese people and everything were conservatives, like on the Nazi side, as they were very against the whole multiculturalism ideas. And I was kind of surprised looking into the history of Germany too. Like that is why Germany started to vote in the Nazi party, is because migration got so bad in Germany that they were losing their own country too. So they either had to pick voting for Hitler or all be extinct. So yeah, when you're trying to blame the German people for electing Nazis, well, maybe you shouldn't have almost killed them, and then they wouldn't have done that. So I kind of laugh when people are like, bigots are awful. It's like we should hate a population of bigots. I was like, well, what happens if spiders came in and everyone is what is that spider phobia? Arachnophobia? So if everyone became like, had arachnophobia, would you go, oh, those people are awful, they all hate spiders? So we'll be like, well, maybe you shouldn't have like put a whole bunch of spiders around them, then they wouldn't have fucking hated them, right? It's like, I don't think any culture could all of a sudden become bigots unless they had a whole bunch of people come to their area. Oh, basic sensor blueprint. Yeah. Yeah, so why are we hating on people that become bigots when we just flooded their country with other people of different cultures that made them become bigots? It's like, is it really their fault for becoming bigots? Like, I know being a bigot is awful. My grandpa from Ukraine was very much like that. Like, I can't even remember. I think he was really big into Stalin or that Ukrainian leader who's very controversial. I think, what was he, a communist or Marxist or something like that? Lenin? No, maybe not Lenin. And my fucking history of Europe is almost non-existent, or knowledge of history of Europe. I don't know, like, and I don't know anyone over in Europe realizes this, but in Canada, we don't teach people anything about European history. It's like, when you're a European living in North America, you're lucky if you know where England or France is. It's like, until I got into, like, doing gravity well research, I had no idea where England or France was, or any of the countries in Europe. I had an idea that they were over there, but no idea of, like, actually to draw it on a map. I didn't even know if they were on the coast or not. And maybe it's not all Canadian schools that were like that. I went to both. I started in Roman Catholic schools for elementary, went up till grade 8, and then I switched to the public school system because I had a bad family upbringing. My parents were always fighting and divorced, so I was bouncing around from no stable home environment. I actually had no home from the age of 12 till I was about 24. I was like homeless. So I was like, that was quite a long time to be homeless. I almost became accustomed to not having a home. But yeah, that was kind of rough how that went. Yeah, not to blame all my bad behavior on that, but I know it doesn't contribute to it. Or it does. I was looking up into it, and they said that the chances, like, when they look at people that become, like, really wild or conspiracy theories and stuff, almost all of them don't have father figures in their lives. So, like, normally that's, like, the reactionary response to when your family abandons you. You become a conspiracy theorist because you're pulling for reasons of why you've been abandoned, sort of thing. Grabbing at straws. I know when I had bad issues with doctors and my concussion, every doctor I seen was a woman. So I started to get this impression, like, holy shit, women are being sexist to me all the time. And then it wasn't like I was just pulling at strings. Yeah, welding wire blueprint. But then eventually I realized, like, I was sitting at the doctor's office feeling all sorry for myself, the victimhood mentality that these evil women were being sexist to me. Because I was just pulling at straws, trying to figure out why everyone was lashing out at me. And then when I was sitting in the office, I fucking heard the same woman doctor, this Asian lady, looks just like Tam. It was funny, and she was fucking yelling at this other person. I'm like, reaming them, like, oh, you've been injured. I don't give a shit. You're going back to work because I'm getting my fucking money and I don't care what's wrong with you. And I was like, holy fuck, right? And I was thinking, geez, what guy is she reaming out this time? And it was a woman that walked out. I was like, oh, thank God. It's like, there went my fucking whole victimhood mentality out the window. It's like I realized that, hey, these women weren't actually being sexist. It was just, I was assuming that because I couldn't see any evidence otherwise. So it's like, if you assume something really bad, sometimes you kind of got to look around you to see if it really is that situation, or you're just sort of jumping to conclusions. No, I'm hoping my spine keeps doing okay. Oh yeah, that was the other big news yesterday, is I became a professional disc golfer. Remember I was talking about how you get shit done when you quit cannabis? It's like, for years I've been putting off becoming a professional disc golfer. I was like, I'll just do it later. Oh, I'm so fucking high, I'll just do it later. And then, well, all it took was one day of being sober. I'm like, fuck man, I'm getting this shit done. Now, if everyone's wondering if I'm a good disc golfer, I'm one of those players that, like, occasionally I'll have a pretty bad game and maybe I won't get first place. But if I'm having, like, a good game, it's like there's really nobody that can beat me. So I'll be interested when I go to this tournament. It's like, if I have a bad day, it'll be average. Maybe I'll get last place. But man, if I can fucking manage to have good luck that day, just be in a rhythm, I'm gonna be on fucking Sports Center. You just wait and see. But no, not to be bragging, but I have hit more than one hole-in-one in my career in disc golf. And if you can hit a hole-in-one during a tournament, it'll get you on the news in Sports Center, my local sports channel. So you'll be like next to a clip of like LeBron James dunking, and then it'll be you shooting a hole-in-one in disc golf. So I'm like, everyone's like turning disc golf pros to like try to win money. Like one guy's, I think he has over $500,000 in disc golf earnings. Some people want to win the tournament or other reasons. Like me, I just want to get on Sports Center. It's like, I don't give a shit if I fucking win tournaments, win tons of money. I just want that clip of being next to LeBron James, right? That'd be sick. Like, take that, James. The queen has been outdone. No, I don't want to pick on LeBron James too much, but I'm a Toronto Raptors fan, so he's our arch nemesis. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that we would have got to beat him in the playoffs last year, but fuck, man. He was playing so shitty he didn't even make the playoffs. Everyone's like, oh, LeBron James is the best player ever. It's like, yeah, he can't even make the playoffs. So much for being the best player. Now, this year's team's doing better, but same thing with LeBron James. The only way he can win is if they fucking stack the entire team with all All-Stars. It's like you take even one or two of those All-Stars away, his fucking team is garbage. Yeah, we'll see how they do. Holy fuck, man. I've been doing too many crafts on this setting. Here I was assuming it was up more. Now let's check out the stats, see what I've got. So far they gave me a basic sensor blueprint, some welding wire. I was just kind of curious what the welding wire ratio, or not ratio, Marka, holy shit. That one click was 80 pec. Yeah, see what I mean, guys? When you first land on a planet, they tend to give you some crazy ass loot, like that 7 ped click I had. But then ever since that one, it's just been going down, down, down. Right? It's like not even close to 7 ped. It was like, what, 70 pec? Or 80? Holy fuck. Alright, we need a little bit of a message from the sponsor before we begin this next crafting run. Today's show was brought to you by Crack! Crack! It'll fuck you up. Come on, work! Work! Alright, let's see if the lag has stopped. No, it's funny, my XSplit, or, yeah, is that what it's called? Yeah, the XSplit recording software is so shitty that I can't even switch scenes right now without it fucking lagging like crazy. So if any of the XSplit developers are watching my stream, get your shit together, man! No, I do know one temporary solution to this is I'm just going to uninstall XSplit, reinstall it, and then usually that gets it running back at full speed again. I don't know if any computer programmers are out there. Do you know why that could happen with software? Like, I noticed sometimes computers will build up and fill up RAM or memory or... Fuck, I just started a crafting run and didn't even hit click. Yeah, so I was wondering, it's like maybe my computer is like fucking... Or maybe the software is using too much system resources. Or no, what is it? When it starts saving cookies. It's like sometimes when computers save cookies, they can fill up their memory and start going slow. So I'm wondering if somehow this software has some sort of cookie system, and that the more you use it, the slower it gets, to the point where it becomes completely unusable. It was funny, I was telling the XSplit's customer support, I'm like, hey guys, this problem keeps happening. And they're like, oh, we've never heard of it before. So I log onto the forums and see thousands of pages, everyone saying the same fucking thing. So I'm like, dear God, XSplit, if you haven't heard of it before, maybe you should log on to the support page and look at all the people that are bitching about it. Now, oh yeah, another big news I had too is, remember I was saying before that we should start having virtual Star Trek conventions in Entropia to get on the bandwagon of everyone not being able to gather in crowds? So I was checking it, and I think the convention's called GalaxyCon or something. They've already done it. They switched to doing a virtual online Star Trek convention. I think they got a few million people going. So I was like, holy shit, Entropia really dropped the ball on that one. But maybe it's not too late. Like, maybe they could still hold a convention And it doesn't have to be a Star Trek convention. It could be any type of convention. Wedding convention, fishing convention, who knows? Maybe Battlestar Galactica, Stargate convention, that'd be sick. Or a video game convention. But I was just thinking, guys, like, come on, Entropia. We're existing in a virtual universe here, and our universe in real life, it needs us. It needs us to host conventions. People still want to get together, crowds of people. So, I don't know. Maybe MindArc can't do it because the game really isn't set up to have more players. As much as they keep talking about they want more and more players, I don't think they can afford the servers for more players. I don't know why that is. Like, how expensive are these servers? Now, I noticed a big server cutback because, what was it? I think it was Planet Rocktropia. Used to be like 10 times the size, but eventually they shrank the planet. And I think it was because of like server issues, they were saying. Took up too much space. I don't know if anyone remembers that, when Rocktropia used to be drastically different. Or maybe I'm getting it confused and it was another planet, but I'm pretty sure it was Rocktropia. Oh yeah, the other updates of my Entropia and weight loss program. Yesterday, I cut back, and because I wasn't smoking weed, my appetite regulation was way off. Almost so much, it was like cheating. It's like when I quit smoking weed, I fucking can't stand food. Like, even one bite tastes fucking disgusting and I'm gonna throw up because I'm too full. It was funny, like, normally when we have hot dogs for dinner, I'll be able to eat like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 hot dogs. So after I quit smoking weed and I went to eat hot dogs, I couldn't finish half a hot dog. I was like, what the fuck? For supper, I should be way hungrier than that. So it's like, what an advantage. Like, people, like, if you ever, don't underestimate how amazing the advantages of quitting weed are. Like, what a cheat technique, eh? Can't even eat half a hot dog? That should help me fucking lose weight. Now, I'm already starting to fit my clothes better again. I was like, oh, thank God. Like, what happened was I had, like, heavier person clothes, lost a whole shitload of weight, made it down to, like, 170 or something. And then all my clothes looked like I was like a clown. Like, my clothes were huge, right? People are like, man, your clothes are so fucking baggy, you should get new clothes. I'm like, wait, guys, I can't really go and replace my entire wardrobe yet because I know my weight fluctuates a lot. If I get into a bad situation of like depression or some horrible shit happens in my life, I tend to fucking eat to compensate for it. So I was like, oh God, if something happens. And then thank God, like, luckily I did keep these clothes because, yeah, the lockdown situation happened. Everything we can't talk about. So yeah, then when that happened, I fucking started to fill out my clothes again. But now that I've gotten back into the eating less again, I've already, like, my other shirt was too tight to wear. Yesterday I put it on, I could fit it again. I was like, oh, thank God, some progress already. Yeah, so if anyone else playing Entropia is going through the whole weight loss thing, don't get too over, like, I don't know, too over success or whatever, confident. Because you never know, like, you should really keep that stuff around because it's not going to be easy to keep the weight off. That's one of the hardest parts too. Now, the same thing happened to my little brother. He was like around, I think, like pretty close to 300 pounds. So he was giant. And then he knew that it was causing health problems. His doctor was saying he's borderline diabetic. So he fucking went on a weight loss binge and he got right down to the point of skitty. I was like, holy fuck, man, what amazing transformation. But same thing happened. Except I think he actually started getting rid of his big person clothes. No, one day he woke up and he had a fucking giant welt swelled up on the side of his face. And then he went to the hospital to try, like, in Canada, I don't want to make fun of it, I've said it before, OHIP used to be amazing back in the 80s. It's progressively got worse to the point where you're paying 80% income tax and you can't even get a band-aid out of them. No, but 69, yeah! 69 welding wire, my favorite number. Who am I kidding? That number isn't my favorite, it makes me cry. I feel so lonely. Whoops. I thought I clicked browse for a second, but luckily I didn't. Yeah, so there was some other big news, video game wise. What was I thinking? But yeah, I never finished the Earthworm Jim story. Yeah, so I was like, what happened with the whole Earthworm Jim thing that this guy was posting the video on YouTube about? Turned out that the creators of Earthworm Jim, yeah, that's how I got into the whole Hitler spiel. You see, it's like he was an avid conservative. So what happened is everyone started labeling him a fucking Nazi. So now Amico, or in television, when they were trying to make this new Earthworm Jim game, the guy that fucking created the first Earthworm Jim, and is like the smartest guy in the whole project, he's the fucking guy that they can't admit to working with. So Tommy's like, oh, we don't even pay him. He's just like a consultant or something, right? So isn't that funny? It's like, just because he's a conservative, they start labeling him a fucking Nazi, and they're not even allowed to pay him. I was like, what the fuck, right? So that's the history behind the Earthworm Jim game. So when Tommy Tellerico starts promoting the Amico and television and Earthworm Jim, it's like, I don't really think Earthworm Jim is the go-to game that he should be promoting. Because I'm pretty sure once the liberal audience finds out that it was created by a conservative, they're going to be fucking freaking at him. And I think what's weird with Tommy too is when I knew him as a kid growing up, he was like a hardcore fucking like party animal, fucking everything. Eating meat, fucking constantly hypersexualized into extreme violence and all that shit. And then as soon as he became vegan, he completely flip-flopped. Where he says that he still supports all that stuff, but his actions are the exact opposite of what he's saying. Like he'll be like, oh, I'm still for violent video games. But he releases the Amico and bans any violent video games. So, I don't know. That's the whole situation with the video game updates. The guy that's making fun of Tommy, kind of hope that he fucking, I don't know, man, cut Tommy a little slack. Like, he is like one of the greatest guys on planet Earth, so you shouldn't be fucking reaming him like that. No, I found it funny, like, people are saying, was Tommy like God to you? And I was like, well, in a way, it's like, when I was a kid, I was like somewhat into church, and then I got into video games, so I abandoned my whole faith, and the person who was in charge of the video game church was Tommy. So it's in a way I actually did start worshipping Tommy. Anytime he did a show talking about the latest video games, I'm like, I will buy it, I will buy it. Just to clarify, in case the Anti-Defamation League is trying to watch this episode and shut my channel down, it's like actually a lot of my best friends are Jewish. Some of the hottest chicks I've ever known are Jewish. And as far as the actual Jewish religion goes, I'm really into the cult. And Jewish mysticism has a lot of the same shit. So it's like I even really like the religion to a certain point. So I'm not trying to criticize. I know like Hitler was obviously fucking doing some horrible shit to them. Definitely not a Holocaust denier or something. Now, that's one thing that steered me away from the conspiracy community. I noticed a lot of the conspiracy community is like raging anti-Semites. So I was like, holy fuck, man, that's not really something I like to associate with. It's like hate of anything in general. It's like, I'm okay with hate as long as you do something positive with it. Like, if someone did something really bad to you and you hate them, it's like, sure, the hate itself isn't really that bad, but it's what you do about it. It's like if you're going to yell at them, call them names or stuff, or if you're going to go to the gym and work out and try to harness that energy. Now, I notice, like, people are probably wondering, like, are you always, like, fucking yelling and screaming like that when you get angry? It's like, no, most cases when I'm not doing podcasts and I get really angry, I'll just hit the gym. I don't know what it is. When I'm angry and I work out, it's like fucking steroids. Not that I've ever tried steroids, but just from what I've heard. But yeah, that was the other comment too. I appreciate it. Some people in the Entropian groups were commenting that they're into Entropia workouts too, where they work out and play the game. And the one guy was like, yeah, he's going to go do some squats right now. I was like, yeah, that's fucking great, everyone. I know that's one thing that makes me a little bit sad at the Entropian community. I notice a lot of cases we get stuck sitting at computers all day and it's not really the greatest for our health. So I was kind of hoping that when I make videos for the Entropian community, maybe I could try to help balance that out a little. Try to help promote the idea of exercising in between mobs or something, right? Like, fuck man, I was doing this squats again the other day. It doesn't take that long to do 50 body weight squats, especially if you do them fast and try not doing them slow. But man, in that time, it's like, what a workout. It's like maybe like 10 minutes, not even 5 minutes of workout, and I can feel the burn for days. So like Joe Rogan's saying, technically, if you work out smart, you really don't have to be in the gym all day. Like I see some people that go to the gym all day, every day, and they don't look fit at all. It's because they're not working out properly. It's like if you do the wrong exercises that aren't giving you the proper gains, you can work out all day and you won't see any results. Like I had that issue too. And then I got a new personal trainer and I realized that a lot of the muscle groups that I was ignoring were the ones that had to get bigger first before the other ones could attach to them. So I was like, holy shit, it's actually like a building block. Unless you lay the foundation of all the muscle groups, you're gonna fucking notice that you won't build up certain ones. It's like, you know what's a big shocker? I never even realized it was gonna happen. Is when I started getting into my excessive fucking ab workouts. Started off, could only do like 10, 20 sit-ups, made it up to 30, made it up to 100, progressively going higher and higher as like months and months of doing it. Then after like a couple of years, I'm at the point where I was doing hundreds a day, made it up to I think 300 a day. And yeah, the fucking weird transformation. I couldn't believe it. Like I've never had abs before. Like I always thought I had abs. Like I was feeling my stomach. I'm like, oh, they're under there somewhere. I just can't feel them because of the fat, right? But no, once you actually grow abs, you'll be like, holy fuck, that's what abs are. Not that perfect abs or anything, but actually have some muscle under the fucking fat now. And the weirdest thing about how that muscle forms, like when I was doing the sit-ups, I'm like, oh, this is going to cause my muscles in my stomach to get sore because I'm doing sit-ups. You would assume that, right? But then as I was progressing in the sit-ups, I'm like, what the fuck? My stomach muscles aren't sore at all. It's my legs. It was like, you know, the top of your legs, the biggest part, what is it, the quad or whatever? The very top of it, like the surface, like the very top of your legs. All of a sudden that was fucking just burning like crazy when I was doing the sit-ups. And then I looked it up online and I found out it's because your abs connect to your fucking leg muscles. So it's like in order for your abs to get bigger to a certain point, the other muscles they connect to in your legs are actually going to have to grow too. So that's what happened. For a long time I did fucking sit-ups like over a year and my legs just kept getting bigger. And then I was like, what the fuck? When is this eventually going to start affecting my stomach? So then when I reached the 300 sit-up a day point, that's when my leg muscles weren't feeling the burn as much anymore. And all of a sudden my fucking abs started to grow. I was like, oh, thank God, they can grow. No, ab workouts have to be the fucking most annoying workout ever. Like just for fucking how long it fucking takes to show any results. Like I'm used to like other muscles, like my chest. When I got a personal trainer and he gave me chest workout muscles or to target certain muscle groups, I saw results after the first set. So it's like already it swelled up and it was showing that, hey, I hit the right muscle group. Fucking abs, it took years before I noticed any results. So I think that's what's kind of like gets to people. It's frustrating to do an exercise and see no results, especially to do it for years. And like to be in agony the whole time. Like right now I'm back down to about 100 to 140 sit-ups a day. It's because I went through a battle of getting badly fucking sick, lost all my energy for months. But I've started to recover from it and now I'm getting back. And even like my back issues got a lot worse during that whole sickness bout. So anyone's going through some really good challenges right now, try not to feel alone. I'm sure there's plenty of people in the Entropian community that are going through the same thing. And hey guys, maybe we can make it through this shit together. Now I know with me, a lot of the motivation for coming to lose weight and exercises is when people are watching to see what results I get. Sort of like you feel less temptation when someone's standing over your shoulder watching you. So I'm hoping that if I combined what I do with Entropian streams and other video game streams with my other goals, like sharing with my viewers what's happening and you guys helping support me along the way, I think that'll go a long way for me to get that routine in place. And if anyone else is going through the same thing and they want to do that, just let me know and I'll fucking try to get to your videos and support you too. Now I think out of like maybe the last 10 people that I've asked to fucking be on my show, each one of them was facing some sort of horrible weight gain situation from playing Entropia too much during the lockdowns and stuff. Fuck me too. It's like I put on, I think, 30 or 40 pounds, somewhere close to that. So holy fuck, man, that was a disaster. I know a few other people are like, ah, that's nothing, but to me, that was a fucking disaster. Now, like my brother, when he got down from 300 pounds, I think, what was he saying? That he lost like 150 pounds or something? I was like, holy fuck, that's like a whole person, right? Yeah, shout out to him, man. Like, congratulations for doing that one time. No, when he got into the hospital, I never even finished that. It's like, yeah, he was stuck in the hospital and he was fucked because Canadian doctors, when you get there and something's wrong with you, you basically have to tell the doctor what's wrong with you, what he should do to treat it, basically the whole process you have to do. I don't know what happened with our medical system that this is the case now, but maybe other provinces it's not so bad. Yeah, so when he got to the hospital, he had this giant growth. They did a few x-rays and like, the only explanation they had was they could give him like drugs to try to shrink the infection. So I forget what they were giving, like antibiotics and different things. And it went on for months and it kept growing bigger and bigger and bigger until he had this fucking giant lump on the side of his face. And then he's like, he has to fucking get rid of this lump because it was like causing him a lot of pain. So he was going back to the hospital, and at this point, they're so lost of what's the problem that they started injecting him with IVs. Like, if anyone knows what IV is, it's like this clear fluid in the hospital that they inject you with before surgery. And I never even knew what it was before, but I found out that it's loaded with vitamins and minerals and all that stuff to try to boost your body's immune system by giving it everything it needs. And it also has some stuff to fight infection. Can't remember if it's extra vitamin C or what. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Holy shit. Ugh. No, my digestive system is going through a little rough time now. Oh, yeah. Another welding wire print. It's a shame. It makes me want to show you guys the different tricks that I have on Toulan because it looks like right now it would work. Oh, PED 36. That was pretty good. Yeah, so what happened was my brother was in the hospital, and at this point he's staying overnight in the hospital. I forget, like weeks at a time, and they're trying to get this infection down, right? So I'm like, at the time I was also going, like the year or two before that, having some wisdom tooth issues, and I was getting sick of the fucking dentists and doctors in my city. So I went to Toronto. I'm figuring, hey, if I go to the biggest city around, try to get some doctors there, they should have a better clue what the fuck's going on. So yeah, I went and I fucking got the wealthiest fucking dentist that I could find in Toronto. Went seeing him. It was like fucking walking into the future, for God's sakes. Like, his office was like the lab from Star Trek with almost all this fucking high-tech equipment. And then when I was at the hospitals in like our city, it was like shit from the 70s. It was older than me. So yeah, I was like, holy fuck, this doctor in Toronto is amazing. He gave me this x-ray and got all the problems in my wisdom teeth diagnosed, did the surgery, got everything corrected. And I went through decades trying to fucking fix the problem in my city. So when my brother was going through this, I'm like, fuck it, man. You really got to say to fuck it with these doctors in our city and just go to that doctor that I have in Toronto. It's like, I know he was a dentist, but I'm thinking, God, you got a huge lump on your jaw. Could be something to do with your teeth. Go to this guy and get him to check to see if he can find out what it is. Yeah, so guess what happened? He went to the doctor in Toronto. They found out he had a giant abscess in his fucking tooth. I was like, oh my God, like, how didn't the hospital find this out? Did you know hospitals in Canada will not cover anything? They won't even look if you have any problems in your mouth because they say that that's dentist's field. So I was like, shit, why didn't the hospital tell my brother to go see a dentist then, right? But I guess they don't know anything about the mouth. So when they see a giant swelling here, they ignore the mouth and they just look at the body, try to figure out what could be in the body causing it. And they couldn't find it. So thank God my brother went to that doctor in Toronto, got the fucking wisdom tooth taken out by him. And guess what? The next day, the fucking lump went away. So he went through over a year, and that was what fucked him for his weight loss thing. When he was stuck in the bedridden in the hospital, he fucking put all the weight back on. So I felt so sorry for him. It's like he went to start all over from square one. So like if you're doing like some sort of weight loss journey and stuff, and you don't have any major health conditions that are fucking you over, be so thankful, because you never realize like how fucking lucky you are until you get to that situation where losing weight is even way harder. No, and since then, my brother, like, he was so lucky. The surgery, like when he was at the hospital doing the IV, they started selling him on the idea of the surgery. Like, hey, OHIP will pay for this fucking surgery. We can keep removing the lump over and over again. And the only catch is you'll lose the function of all of the muscles in your face. They'll just droop to the side. My brother was like, oh my God, is that really the only option? So thank God he went to the dentist, right? Yeah, so now that the lump's gone, he didn't have any side effects and he made a complete recovery. So that's why I often joke, Canada's free healthcare is you're free to help yourself. And you get charged 80% income tax in order to help yourself. That's government insurance for you. Now, I shouldn't mock government insurance. Maybe one day they can pull it off. Alright, thanks everyone for watching today's stream. Sorry I didn't really talk about too much Entropia and stuff, and got into some topics and world politics that are probably going to really piss some people off. But I was kind of watching the viewers going up and down on my YouTube channel, and I was kind of thinking like, what does it really matter how many people are watching my show? If it pisses people off, so be it. And who knows, maybe there are a few people that still like it, even if I get into a little bit of controversy. No, today, after I finish the show, I'm going to do that whole thing with XSplit, try to get the software set, do some recordings about the Intellivision and Telerico situation. I was thinking, is that food? Yeah, and then other things that I'm going to be doing today is a bunch of other projects, maybe with the vlogging. Google, you wouldn't believe some of the shit they've done on my street. Like, I was thinking with the whole world situation, Google would react to it in a weird way. Wait till you see how they reacted. I'm going to do it in my vlog. Like, even some of my neighbors, like, they seen what Google did, and they're like, holy fuck, this is weird. And I'm like, yeah. It's like, what did you think was going to happen when Google started taking over our neighborhood? But, I don't know, most of the cases I love Google. All their software is free and stuff, so Google is the same thing, two-sided coin. It's got some bad and some good. We got to try to harness what we can, discard what we can't. Right, and today, let's see. If you happen to be mowing your lawn and the grass clippings get eaten by a hedgehog, and then it gets diarrhea and it sprays, like the porcupine epidemic diarrhea that sprays, the ped diarrhea. Now if that happens to spray right into your vaporizer and you get a fucking huge hoot of that, then give the video a dislike, because you never ever want to vaporize shit, right? That's a big no-no. That's why every time I'm using the vaporizer and I let a little bit of a fart go, I try not to use it, because that's not the kind of vapors I want to collect. Alright, sorry that was a horrible way to finish the show. But if you could help me out, and you did like the show, just click that fucking open more or more info button in the description. It'll pop up a huge fucking link, or a whole bunch of links. I don't know, popping up in huge is something on my mind lately. Oh God, get my mind out of the gutter. Yeah, so if you can help with those links, there's ways to make money in Entropia. It's called Entropia Partners. They'll pay you to listen to music, watch videos. You can even get paid to watch my videos there. And yeah, and then I got the buyback thing, cash back for anything you purchase online. It's called Swag Bucks. I encourage everyone to sign up for it, not only to use it for yourself, but to share the link on your stuff, so your YouTube channels can start getting in extra revenue. Why not, right? And then what else was there? Yeah, the cash back. Oh yeah, I always forget the patron. I do have some patrons already, so if anyone wants to help join them, I really appreciate it. I think I got the monthly donation thing set to $1, so it's not really that expensive, and if you can help out, I know a buck really isn't going to make or break my life, but it's just the fact of seeing people that are actually paying to support me. I don't know, it's like the biggest boost of energy I've ever experienced. So I really appreciate it, guys. Anyone who can help me out with Patreon, even if it's a buck, it makes a huge deal. Alright, thanks everyone, and take care. And yeah, make sure to check out everyone else's Entropian channels. I think I added Entropia Zine to the description. Raven Jade's channel, Serial Overdrive, and I'm going to start getting a list of everyone else's channels. I actually know them, I just can't even remember them. But I'm working on that too, and I'll share my updates of how the fucking cannabis journey is going, weight loss journey, and all that soon, coming up in new episodes. And tomorrow, I'm pretty sure I'm going to head out from Toulan. I've had pretty much my full of the planet for now. And if anyone in the chat wants to vote below where they would like to see me travel next, just post it in the comments. I'll see if I can take it into consideration. Alright, thanks again for watching everyone. Take care. And oh yeah, for God's sakes, make sure you never ever purchase the products from my sponsor. It will ruin your life. Don't forget to subscribe. You can just click that. You can also watch the playlist. Please, watch the playlist.